could the 49ers trade Deebo Samuel given what they could get for him and how much it's going to cost to keep him?
Gosh, you know what? I feel like we've had this conversation at some point throughout the season. We talked about this, and at that time, I think that we
But
were
now we know
both
what the
interested.
going rate is. Like now we know
Right,
exactly what they could get and what it
for
would
sure.
cost. Yeah.
For sure. And I think back then we said, okay, if they could get a first round pick, you got to entertain it. And
Yeah.
at that time, we said something along the lines of if you can get Devontae Adams, especially, then trade Deebo for a first. Like that's something that you would have to at least consider. And Debo's my favorite player, so I hate to even consider that he's gone. But I also want to throw some context into this because the Jets also had an offer on the table. And I don't know if you realize this, but the Jets were going to offer, I think it was pick 35, 38, and then like a fourth rounder for
Wow.
Tyreek Hill. And the Jets, or excuse me, the Chiefs had actually accepted that offer. It just came down to where Tyreek wanted to play. He chose Miami. Now, Miami, in my opinion, grossly overpaid for this guy. He's 28 years old. I think he's going to be 29 when he plays next season. And being what Adams just went for, I mean, that was kind of the groundwork, right? So you
Right.
paid a little bit more than what the Raiders did for Adams, who's probably a better overall receiver. And you also gave him more money. So I don't know. I don't know if you could get that for Deebo. Deebo's really only had one major year of production. But if you could get anything close to that, I think you would have to at least kick the tires. Now, the one thing that we do know is the 49ers had to be first in giving Deebo an extension. We talked about this. There's guys like Brown that are going to be coming up, DK, Cup. We knew Adams, Hopkins. We did not expect necessarily Tyreek Hill, but these are the types of guys that are going to be getting deals. And if you weren't first to the market, well, then you're watching Deebo's price go up. It seems like every second of every day. And I thought come in, overpay Deebo, spend about 25 million a year over the course of 5 years, maybe 80 million guaranteed. That would get it done. Now I'm not so sure, and I think it's becoming a major issue. Again, you have to have Deebo's agent willing to play ball and Deebo willing to play ball to get that done. But I think if they came in super aggressive, said, listen, we're going to give you 5 years, 125 million, 80 million guaranteed. I don't know if Deebo's able to turn that down at his age with 1 year of production. Now he's definitely going to turn
80
that down.
million guaranteed. Yeah, that'll probably get it done. Well, say it
Yeah.
again. How much is it going to
So
cost?
so I said if they came in early with Deebo, said we're going to give you 25 annually. So 5 year, 125, 80 million guaranteed, right?
Okay.
I thought that could get the deal done. Now I'm not so sure, Grant. After watching some of these other guys get paid, Christian Kirk got 18 million a year. Who's Christian Kirk? What has he done in this league? So Deebo, I mean, golly, man, it's 27, 28 annually minimum. I don't know, man.
Maybe 30. I mean, I could the Niners trade Deebo Samuel? Yeah, they could. I just don't think they will, though. I mean, they drafted and developed him. It seems like even if Parag Marate were to draw a hard line, which he's done, he did it on Trent Williams. He was going to say no to Trent Williams, and Kyle Shanahan called Parag and said, get it done, make it work.
Mhm.
He might do that with Deebo. I mean, Deebo's the heart and soul of the team. There may be instructions from the very top from Jed and John and Denise saying, make it work. So I don't really see the Niners trading Deebo this offseason. I think they might have thought about it last year, but he's too important. He's by far the best player in the team. And if you were to get rid of him, I mean, what would the team look like? So I don't really see it happening, although, wow, they could get a lot for him. They could get a first, a second, a fourth. They could get a lot for him. But keeping him is going to be really freaking expensive, man. I don't see how they pay him. I mean, why would he not? Why would he take any less than $30 million a year? If the Niners don't offer him that, I mean, it seems like it's going to be really expensive, and the Niners aren't going to really want to antagonize him. I don't think they're going to want to do the Le'Veon Bell thing. I think they want him on the field day one of training camp, and they're going to give him. I bet you it's going to look like, my guess is it's going to be 5-6 years, and it's going to make him the highest paid wide receiver in the league, but he'd probably have a little less guaranteed money than Tyreek Hill. But he's going to be able to say he's the highest paid. It's going to be very big, very lucrative. And the Niners, maybe that's why they're not signing freaking anyone in free agency, because they're like, damn, dude, you have no idea how expensive Deebo is going to be. And Deebo isn't going to be as expensive as Bosa.
No, not at all. And the other thing is this is that again, Deebo's older. Deebo's already 26. This is not a younger wide receiver.
No.
So you've got a guy that's older, probably only going to get one real payday in his career. And
Mhm.
I think worst case scenario is playing out. Maybe he's betting on himself. I thought that this would happen with Bosa, that Bosa would wait a year, being how that family operates, that they would wait a year, knowing that that salary cap is going way up next year. That would be the route that the Bosa family would take, bet on themselves, make more money. What if Deebo does that? And then AJ Brown, DK, Cup, all these guys come in. I mean, that 30 million might be 32 million by the time he goes to sign next offseason if they don't get it done this offseason. So they really have got to me, they've got to put a rush on this. They should have put a rush on this to begin the offseason. That should have been number one priority along with trading Jimmy, and they just haven't done either.
Because like even franchise tagging him would be really expensive now. I mean, the going rate for top wide receivers is high. The one thing they could do though is if they get in a game of chicken with Deebo Samuel and Deebo wants to take it, doesn't want to sign an extension, wants to take it another season, the Niners could literally turn him into a running back. Like, all right, you want to do that? Well, now you're running back. And now when we get to free agency, we're going to tag you as a running back and we're going to win. I mean,
That's dirty.
They could do that. It won't come down to that. I think the Niners. It seems like Kyle doesn't want to antagonize his. Kyle likes being liked. He's not as popular as Jimmy, but he's popular, and he likes being liked. Doesn't want to be called Coach Shanahan. He's Kyle, and he comes through for his guys. I think Deebo's one of his guys. He came through for Trent Williams, George Kittle. I think he's going to come through for Deebo. I think he's too important. I don't think they're going to trade him. I think Deebo's going to get $30 million a year or more.
He'll get paid handsomely, and I agree. Deebo should be one of his guys. I mean, we look at somebody had posed the question earlier on Twitter and tagged us both and said, "Who would you rather have, DK or Deebo?" Deebo, no question. Deebo's more versatile, and he is the consummate team player. Talk about a guy that goes out there and gives his all every single down, every single play. Like he's the antithesis of what DK is or Randy Moss is. These guys will take plays off. Never with Deebo. He's like Terrell Owens. Like he's going to go out there with a broken ankle and try to gut this out to win a game. He'll do whatever it takes to win. That's before he's getting paid. Imagine what he'll do when he gets paid. You have to try to do everything you can to keep Deebo. You have to.
Me, he's Roger Craig. He's Roger Craig with speed, with even faster, because you can actually split him out wide and he can run go routes. But the way they use him, Roger Craig, I think he's going to go for 1,000. I think he's going to be the first Niner since Roger Craig to go for 1,000. It's going to be tight.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. Only wide receiver.
Like Roger Craig. If you go back and watch Roger Craig, that violent high knees. I mean, I think Roger Craig was even taller than Deebo Samuel. Deebo's built like a running back, and he runs like a running back. And I don't know. That's my comparison for him. Roger
I don't know if you saw him at the Pro Bowl next to Kamara. Oh my! I mean, he dwarfed Kamara. He was so much bigger and thicker than Kamara was. I'm looking at Kamara going, "Wait, you look like a slot wide receiver. He looks like a running back. Deebo looks and is built like a running back. So yeah, there's a physical difference there for sure."